It's been a little over a year since I uploaded my first video, the Sonic 4 Episode 1 review, and I've gotten a few requests to do Episode 2. I've been wanting to do this video for a month at this point, but the HDMI port on my PS3 broke, so I had to put off this video until I fixed it. Now that it is fixed, I'm able to review Sonic 4 Episode 2 and Sonic Adventure 2. Anyway, let's get into it. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 genuinely sucks. The art style is awful, it rehashes zones from previous Sonic games, and the biggest offense is the controls. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details. If you want to know more, go watch my Sonic 4 Episode 1 video. But the second biggest offense is that it's represented as a sequel to Sonic 3 Knuckles. After the success of my Episode 1 video, I decided to purchase Episode 2 and play it for myself. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. This is Sonic 4 Episode 2. When getting into the game, I immediately noticed a massive improvement. Sonic himself actually looks like a real being, and not a cheap toy, which is a good thing. The controls have also received a massive improvement. It's hard to describe in a video since I can't just give you the controller, but go play Episode 1 and then come back to play Episode 2. Also, I want to point out that the game now has signs over bottomless pits. It may seem like something not worth discussing, but Episode 1 didn't have these, and it very clearly indicates that you need to slow down for some more challenging platforming, where a single missed input means falling to your death. Although I wish that they used them a little more sparingly, because yeah, I know, no need to shove a billion of them in my face, but that's just a minor nitpick. With those comparisons out of the way, let's get into the gameplay proper. The game starts off with a cutscene, with Sonic and Tails aboard the tornado and landing in Sylvania Castle Zone. Oh yeah, Tails is here, just like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, but he's been nerfed significantly. You can no longer spam the jump button while airlifting Sonic because he gets tired a lot quicker. But still, having Tails is a great addition because you can use him to quickly correct a jump. Also, I think Sylvania Castle Zone is somewhat original. I think it's a mix of Hilltop and Aquatic Ruin from Sonic 2, but I could be wrong, let me know. Anyway, the zone is not too bad, it's pretty forgiving if you make a mistake, and it doesn't insta-kill you for missing a jump most of the time. The aesthetics are also a huge step up from Episode 1. The backgrounds no longer look fake. Even the little things, like in Act 3, there are fireflies circling around several areas. Levels in this game are actually well designed and doesn't punish you for trying to go fast. Most of the time. Just like Episode 1, at the end of each zone, there's a boss fight. Now's a good time to mention that the bosses are really bad in this game. Instead of being laughably short like in Episode 1, they're all incredibly drawn out and tedious. Especially where towards the end of each fight, they'll pull some bullshit attack out of their ass and it kills you instantly. But the boss in the zone isn't too bad, and we're on to the next zone, which is White Park. This is also semi-original, as it's a mix of Ice Cap and Carnival Night based on the tracks you run on in Act 2. It kinda sucks that Act 2 plays itself most of the time. Act 3 is very boring. You just go through an underwater labyrinth and you use this very interesting tag team move to go through these giant patches of snow that will suffocate you if you're too slow. Oh, I forgot to mention, with Tails, pressing the square button either on the ground or in the air will trigger different tag team moves. In the air, it activates Tails' flight, where he airlifts Sonic off the ground, and on the ground, they go into a bigger spin dash. And in this level, in the water, Tails just glides through the water while holding Sonic. The airlift is limited, but the underwater glide is endless. The boss fight is against Metal Sonic because he's just back for whatever reason. It's just an auto runner where you have to get close to him when he's open and just smack him. Repeat a couple times and he flies away. The fight is really boring, as all you're doing is waiting for an opening and then just hitting him. After White Park, we head to Oil Desert Zone. If I had to guess, it's a mix of Oil Ocean from Sonic 2 and Sandopolis Zone from Sonic 3. The zone introduces the most annoying enemy in this game. These stupid frogs that generate giant balls out of their ass and pushes them out at you, which damage you for some reason. In Act 1, it has the sandstorm gimmick where it just pushes you back or forth depending on the direction it's going in. And Act 3 has these rooms that fill with sand and you have to keep going up to not get crushed, even though that's not really how sand works. But whatever, it's not like this franchise is meant to be realistic. The boss is essentially a makeshift Tetris, where you just dodge boxes that are falling and attack Eggman when he opens his cockpit. Also, I just have to ask, why does Eggman even open his cockpit to begin with? Like, he obviously sees that opening the cockpit just leaves him open for damage, so it kind of seems counterintuitive to keep it open, don't you think? After we deal enough damage, we fly up out from the underground, and we have to deal one more hit to his feet when he lands a specific way. Then, he just flies away. Then comes the worst stage in the game. It's a ripoff of Wing Fortress, where you're just trying to get to the fortress and dodging badness in the sky. Oh, Sky Fortress, my bad. This level is mind-numbingly boring, and it goes on for almost 10 minutes. Act 2 and 3 are normal stages, thankfully, and Act 3 has some genuinely breathtaking scenery. Like the sunset in the background, the god rays, it looks pretty damn good. Unfortunately, there is an abundance of bottomless pits, fire, and other hazards that will kill you if you're not careful. Then the boss fight is against Metal Sonic, which is, again, extremely drawn out. It's like 6 minutes, and there are no checkpoints, so if you die, too bad, back to the beginning, asshole. After the battle, we head to the Death Egg Mark II, because of course Eggman rebuilt the Death Egg. And how is Metal Sonic just magically okay now? We literally destroy his aircraft in the previous stage. Whatever, after 3 minutes of running, he just flies away. After a while, we race Metal Sonic to the end, just like Stardust Speedway and Sonic CD. We easily beat him, and then the stage just ends. Then comes the final boss. Oh, Jesus. This is by far the worst boss fight in the game. It's better than Episode's 1 boss fights, but not by much. Eggman is in a heart contraption at the center of 3 rings. You have to platform between them to find an opening while dodging the electrified sections. It's really bad, and at some points it seems like the only way to get to Eggman is just by damage boosting. It took me 30 minutes, but eventually I beat him. Then Sonic and Tails find an escape pod and flee the crumbling Death Egg. Except it's not really crumbling, because the Death Egg is still there. This was a teaser for episode 3 before it got cancelled, so yeah, there's that. Then the game tells you to try again, expecting you to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds. And now would be a good time to talk about them. The special stages take the half pipes from Sonic 2 and has the ability to run faster while holding the square button. The first 5 are not too bad, but the last 2 are extremely frustrating. And before you ask, yes, the exploit from episode 1 works here too. If you're about to reach a checkpoint and don't have enough rings, you can just pause the game and hit retry. It doesn't even cost a life or anything. After collecting the 7 Chaos Emeralds, you unlock the ability to transform into Super Sonic when you have at least 50 rings. But get this, using Tails' tag team moves cancels out your Super Transformation, making Super Sonic is even more useless than he was in episode 1, because you have to use Tails in multiple instances throughout the levels. They also unlock the true ending, in heavy air quotes, and by that, I mean Eggman doesn't even tell you to try again, there's no teaser, just a black screen. What a waste of time. Now I have a few more things to say about the game, but couldn't find a natural place to slip into the script, so here they are. I think the soundtrack in this game is really good, definitely a step up from episode 1. I really like some tracks like Sylvania Castle Zone Act 3, White Park Act 2, and Sky Fortress Act 2. There was a mobile port of this game, but recently, it and many other Sonic mobile games got delisted from the App Store and Google Play. I would show you some footage, but when upgrading my phone, I deleted those games to save on storage, and now I can't show you it. But the mobile port doesn't really change anything aside from worse graphics and not much else. Anyway, there is one more thing to mention. There's this thing called Episode Metal, which is unlocked if you purchase Episode 1 and Episode 2 on the same device. This tries to explain how Metal Sonic came back for this game, but it just falls flat on its face. There are 4 levels in this DLC, and they're just harder versions of Episode 1 stages. So why would I want to play this if I already don't like the stages to begin with? And despite adding warnings for bottomless pits in the base game, they didn't add any signs in Episode Metal, while at the same time adding more bottomless pits. And one more thing to mention, in the beginning cutscene, this is Stardust Speedway Bad Future. I mean, I think the only reason they did this is because Sonic Generations had Stardust Speedway Bad Future, so they just reused the asset for that. But all in all, this thing just feels like an afterthought and it'll take you less than 10 minutes to beat at most. In conclusion, although this game is an overall improvement compared to Episode 1, it's still not amazing. You can easily finish this game in a single sitting, but going for the Chaos Emeralds will take a lot longer, and personally, I think they should have just combined both episodes and called it something else, because they are not worthy of the name Sonic 4. I honestly don't recommend this game, just go play Sonic Mania. Thanks for watching, sorry it took so long. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, join my Discord server to stay up to date with what's coming up, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.